up, the South was a both and not an either or. My story here is told from a young white person's experience within a mean, segregated culture. My family was very racist. Their job was to brainwash the kids into as much hatred and white supremacy as possible. After I finished Auburn, I fled the South and I lived out west. I felt I needed to be somewhere else where I could be more free. I found that most people didn't know that there were white Southern people who did the right thing. But I knew differently. I knew there were a handful of ministers that I knew who stood up and had consequences for what they did.
Got a feeler from a pastoral search committee for a church in Jackson, Mississippi. And when they learned where I was on segregation, they said, no, thank you.
I picked up the phone and said, Trinity Presbyterian Church. And this voice said, your church is gonna be bombed.
I was preaching, and in walked 5 Ku Klux Klansmen in robed uniforms and sat down about the second or third row in front of the pulpit.
Things were happening in the South. You could very easily get shot.
I had my head down and walked out of that door, and 2 big hands grabbed me by the front of my robe and practically lifted me off the ground. It was the ex-sheriff.
I was there a year and a half, and it was the most hellacious year and a half of my life.
Just fixing to ask if you got in any trouble.
If I'd known at the time that I was the #1 person on the Ku Klux Klan hit list, I'd have been more scared than I was.
Well, we all went down there to fight what we knew to be for the truth.
The Southern culture was home. And that's what made the fight so determined, but also so bitter.
You can't simply tell a politician or a bloodshot partisan, hey, buddy, you're lying. Tell us the truth. Maybe we dishonor the faith we profess if we don't make it clear that we intend to speak the truth, and in turn, we expect the truth to be spoken to us.
Do you remember the first time when you were growing up that you realized something was wrong? Do you have a memory about that?
Yes, I do.
Tell me. I think most Southern children in my generation would say that race was the central issue of our lives.
History says to you, where are you going to stand on this one? You're going to stand on the side of truth, or justice, peace, reconciliation, mercy, forgiveness? Or are you going to stand on the side of the lie, of profanity, of violence, of segregation?
It is a disgraceful chapter in Southern Presbyterian history, but it is also a proud chapter that some of them were able to risk the loss of a job in order to speak the truth about justice for black people in the South.
It's something you had to make up your mind about. You had to either buy it or you had to face the consequences.
Let me take a little story.